When the news came out about Dr. Dre's divorce, where a judge ordered him to pay his ex-wife $300,000 per month, basically forever, it shocked a lot of people. Although Dr. Dre did have a prenup agreement, which discussed how much he would pay her and the duration should they divorce, Nicole Young, his ex-wife, was successfully able to get a judge to toss it out. She was originally asking for $2 million per month, but the judge ordered Dre to pay $300,000 per month, in addition to expenses for 2 of their homes, including the Malibu home that she's living at, the housekeeper, chef, laundry, mortgage, all of that, and then her health insurance. They have 2 adult kids, 20 and 24 years old. The most egregious part is the fact that Dre must pay this until Nicole passes away or she remarries. And we all know that Nicole is never ever getting remarried. Before Dre, she was married to an NBA player. Then she hooked up with Dre. We see how that ended. And no man of any high value that could replace what Dre is doing for her, they wouldn't touch this woman. And she's also not willing to remarry and cut off her monthly benefits from Dre. This is what a lot of these women want. Most of them don't like being with a man anyway. They just want to be supported by a man financially. So there's absolutely no incentive for Nicole to remarry. $3.6 million per year to do nothing. And I'm sure she did nothing during the marriage too. Nicole filed for divorce in June 2020 after 24 years of marriage. At that time, she wanted half of his money. Dre had to remind her, though, that they had a prenup agreement. Nicole asked for the judge to throw out that prenup and order Dre to pay $2 million per month in spousal support instead. And around that same time, she stole $400,000 from one of his business accounts. Wasn't held accountable. She tried to tell the court she owned the chronic intellectual property, then said that Dre put paws on her and he was messing around with other women during the marriage. All of this to gain sympathy from the court and get everybody on her side. And then Dr. Dre almost lost his life. He was going through so much stress that he had a brain aneurysm, and luckily he survived. And now this, $300,000 per month forever. It was a really big story that meant many headlines. Look at this article here, written by a Black woman and published by Madame Noir. Also shared with Yahoo.com's very large audience in their lifestyle section. It was probably one of the worst headlines. Look at it. The big payback is what stuck out to me. The big payback. In the article, she wrote this. She said that this may seem like a win that is rooted in greed for Nicole Young to some folks, while others may see it as karma for Dr. Dre. Yes, she said karma. She went on to explain Dr. Dre's history with women like Dee Barnes and Michelle, and used that to justify why his wife should be entitled to $300,000 per month forever. A Black woman here, writing in the media. The big payback, karma. $300,000 forever. And this is one of the top news articles about Dr. Dre's divorce. You do have a lot of Black women celebrating this, like this woman right here. She said they were married for over 25 years. The amount of wealth he earned during their partnership should be considered her assets as well. They built a life together. Wives of rich, wealthy husbands often get a sizable cut because they often leave their jobs to care for children, take care of home, and there isn't any objection from their husbands. You live a certain lifestyle, and then because you divorce, you get nothing to compensate your time and energy invested in this family partnership. Even a good prenup would have a decent payout. These are rich people problems. There's no partnership. My response is, no, this is not just rich people's problems. Court cases like this, they set the tone and standards for everyone, not just wealthy people. And she said a lot in her comment, but none of this matters if the woman signed a prenuptial agreement that clearly stated what she should get in the event of a divorce. That agreement was not followed, which shows prenups are not worth the paper they're written on. A prenup agreement clearly doesn't mean anything if the agreement can be tossed out in court. And you have a lot of women like this one here also who said she stood beside him. She most definitely deserves it. They think this woman is entitled to his money, totally ignoring the prenup. You just can't make this stuff up. But what they don't understand is that news about huge, ridiculous divorce court orders is one of the main reasons why marriage rates are the lowest ever in the United States. Men are simply not willing to risk it all, dealing with women who aren't worth it in the first place. None of them. Men see this, ladies. They see how unfair the courts are, and they are choosing to not put themselves in a high-risk situation by getting into a marriage with you. And I cannot blame them. You can't really debate this or argue them. Like, here's the rapper Rick Ross. He says, marriage looks expensive. Caesar from the reality show Black Ink, he said, WTF? That's with the prenup? Man, I don't know about marriage. Then you have another guy who says, I see why marriage percentages are low. It's usually a loss for the man and a win for the women. This guy right here, he's quoting Outkast. He said, forever, forever, ever, forever, ever. And then this guy right here, he says, waits for comments of all the ladies saying that she deserves every penny of that, further reinforcing why men don't want to marry. So ladies, men see this, and they see how there's almost no benefits for them, but much reward for women. You certainly had women caping for Nicole, but you also had men out here doing it too, like this one. He says, she took care of his kids while he made that loot. She truly deserves it. She had kids, yes, who are adults now. So because they had kids, a judge should be able to throw out the prenup agreement, allowing this woman to help herself to his money forever? And this one right here, he said, why are men saying this while they not getting married? Nobody's gonna make you give $300,000 a month from your warehouse job. Calm down, Lil Bezos. And I don't like when people say this, that average men working at the warehouse need to calm down because they don't have money like this, so they'll never be ordered to pay any woman $300,000 per month. Sir, they may not be ordered to pay $300,000 per month forever, but what if they're ordered to pay $300 per month forever? Even for average men, making $40,000 per year, that could be financially devastating. Let's look at this closely with an example. Let's say you have a man, he's making $40,000 per year in Jacksonville, Florida. He's single now that his divorce with his wife is final, and he was ordered to pay her $300 a month, which equals $3,600 per year. Now let's look at his take-home pay. In Florida, he's not paying state taxes. For the year, they're taking out $6,175 for taxes, bringing his take-home pay to $33,826. That means he'll be paying his ex-wife 10.6% of his take-home pay. And that doesn't even include if he has any other deductions like insurance, retirement, child support. After paying her alimony, he's going to be left with $30,226 for the year. Only looking at basic expenses right now. The average rent in Jacksonville for a single adult is a little over $1,200 per month. That's about $14,400 per year. Transportation costs about $8,400 per year, assuming he has a car note and he has to put gas in the car. So we're looking at a modest car where you're paying about $700 per month on a car note, insurance, and fuel. A single adult in Jacksonville, Florida, they spend a little bit over $3,400 per year on food. So for the basics, shelter, transportation, food, he's looking at $26,211 per year. That leaves him with a little over $4,000 per year. This does not include if he had to pay child support. If he had to pay child support, that will quickly eat up the rest of his money. It also doesn't include health insurance, life insurance, retirement. But how can he even think about retirement? We haven't even discussed the other bills. And a vacation once a year or twice a year? Forget about it. So yes, even average men can be financially devastated by court decisions like this. And it doesn't have to just be alimony. If you never married a woman and you had to pay her $300 per month in child support for 18 years, all of this can financially ruin a man. So the whole shaming average men by saying they don't have money and it won't be a problem for them, as you can see, even a small amount, $300 per month, could crush an average man making $40,000 per year at a warehouse. So don't allow people to say this to you. Push back. I know some of you may say, well, I can fix the situation by just making more money. Simple. Well, what do you do when she goes back to the court and asks the judge for an increase? You're going to find yourself in the same boat. There are sensible women out there, like this one. She asks, so what was the point of a prenup if she was going to get the money anyway? What this case has shown us is that a prenup is not worth anything. I am a proponent of people being together, but I'm not in support of situations like this where men are being treated unfairly. And for the women out there, you should watch out, because with all this equality you're pushing for, this too can happen to you. So be careful what you ask for. As for men, it's understood that majority of marriages end in divorce, 50%. Most of you who get married, your marriages won't last. And wealthy men are not the only one who lose money. Average men can also lose a lot of money. When you think about it, it's even more devastating for average men. It could take an average man 15 to 20 years to bounce back from the financial impact of a divorce. And child support, it can be just as detrimental. So I'll ask this question: is marriage worth it these days? Let me know what you think below in the comments. Want to see more content like this? Support this channel by hitting up the Cash App, just like Dark Power, a regular contributor, and also William. You can support the channel too. The link is below in the description. Ladies, fellas, want a balanced analysis? Want the truth from a female perspective? Subscribe to this channel and don't forget to like and share.